There is a motel sign in the town. Next to it, an empty swimming pool. There is no motel. You have been looking at this absence for 4 seasons. The pilot episode held on that sign for an extra beat. The way a director holds on a thing that matters. None of the residents have ever asked the question. Boyd has not asked it. Donna has not asked it. Even Victor, who has lived inside this town for over 40 years, has not asked it. They have walked past that empty pool more times than any of us can count, and they have not stopped to wonder why the building behind it is gone. Then Henry walked in. Henry, the man who lost his wife to this place a lifetime ago. Henry, who entered the town as a stranger after decades of grief in the outside world. He was here for less than a week before he stopped, looked at the sign, looked at the pool, and asked the question that every resident has stopped asking. Where did the motel go? I think I know what happened to the motel, and I am going to walk you through every piece of evidence that brought me here. Because the answer is not just a piece of lore. The answer is the foundation the town is built on, and once you see it, you cannot look at the empty pool the same way again. Stay with me. Let me start with what we have been given on screen, in plain sight before I add any interpretation. There is a motel sign. The top of the sign once read Star Magic. In Victor's childhood flashbacks from over 40 years ago, those words are visible. In the present day, those words have fallen off. The sign still stands, the shape of it, the skeleton of it, but the name has been stripped. There is an empty swimming pool beside the sign. Concrete walls, no water. It has been empty since the show began. There is no motel building, none. Not in any flashback. Not in Victor's earliest memories of the town. Not in any character's recollection. The building either never existed in this version of the town, or it disappeared so far back that even the residents who have been here longest never lived in it. In Season 3, Episode 5, the show pulled this mystery to the front of the story by having Henry notice it.
There's a motel sign here. There's a pool. Where's the motel?
He looked around, he registered the wrongness, he raised it. In that same episode, something else happened at that pool. Something the show has never made us forget. A man named Dale tried to escape through a faraway tree. Tabitha had used a faraway tree before to reach the lighthouse and ultimately wake up in a hospital in Camden, Maine. Dale tried the same thing. Boyd warned him not to. He went anyway. The tree did not send Dale to the lighthouse. The tree sent Dale into the concrete wall of the Star Magic Motel pool. His body merged with the wall. Only the surface parts of his face and arms remained visible, pressing out from the concrete. He suffocated, slowly, in front of the town. It was the first time the faraway trees had ever immediately killed someone on screen. The empty pool, the stripped sign, the missing building, the man buried in the concrete, Henry noticing what no one else had questioned, the pilot lingering on the sign for that extra beat. That is the box. Now I am going to tell you what is inside. The Star Magic Motel was the site of the original sacrifice. The original Angkui ritual, the one where parents offered their own children in exchange for immortality, the one Tabitha and Jade have been trying to reverse across countless reincarnations, did not happen in the woods. It happened at that motel. The pool, before it was empty, was where the children were laid down. The water was drained, or never filled, or replaced with something else, for the ritual itself. After the sacrifice was completed and the system was sealed, the building was destroyed, burned, most likely. The structure could not be allowed to remain because the structure was the physical record of what was done there. The sign stayed, the pool stayed. They stayed because the system itself cannot fully erase the foundation it stands on. The site has to be marked. The wound has to remain visible, even if the architecture above it does not. That empty pool you see in nearly every wide shot of the town is not a piece of dilapidated scenery. It is the original grave, the first place. The beginning the boy in white keeps telling Tabitha to look toward when he says the answers to the end are in the beginning. He is telling her to walk to the empty pool. Now let me show you the evidence. The faraway trees, as the show is established, and as Victor explained to Tabitha, are unpredictable. They do not send people to the same place twice. Tabitha got the lighthouse, Dale got the wall, but the trees are not random. They are governed by something. Whatever is on the other side of the tree is not a roll of a die. It is a destination. The system selects. So why did the system pick the motel pool wall for Dale? If the pool were just an old empty swimming pool, picking it as a death site would be arbitrary. The town has 100 old empty places. The system did not pick the diner kitchen, or the church basement, or the cellar of an abandoned house. It picked the pool wall, specifically, of a motel that has been physically missing since before any current resident arrived. The pool wall was selected because the pool is where the system already buries things. Dale was a man trying to escape. He was actively rejecting the town's architecture. The system received his attempt and routed it where every failed sacrifice gets routed, into the concrete of the original site. Dale did not die in the wall by accident. The system processed him through its standard intake. The intake is the pool. Watch what the show did with the visual. Only the surface parts of Dale showed through the wall. Suffocating. That is the same composition as a body being buried. The Faraway Tree did not kill Dale by accident of geography. It buried him in a graveyard, where other things are already buried. Tabitha began seeing children that the show calls ghoulish or ghastly. They appear gray, dirty. Their hair is in patches, like it has fallen out. Their clothes look singed and charred. They chant the word Ankui, which means remember. Read those visual details again. Charred clothing, patchy hair, gray skin. Those are not the marks of a child sacrificed peacefully on a stone slab. Those are the marks of a child who died in a fire. The Ankui children, the ones whose hope went into the roots of the trees, the ones who were sacrificed to seal the original pact, were burned, either as part of the ritual itself, or as the cleanup after, or as the destruction of the building they were sacrificed inside. Now combine that with what we know about the motel. The building is missing. There is a sign and a pool, but no structure. Buildings do not just vanish. Buildings are torn down, or they collapse, or they burn. The most likely explanation, given the visual evidence the show has been planting in front of us, is that the motel burned down, possibly with the children inside, possibly during the sacrifice, possibly immediately after. The ghost children with the singed clothes are not random apparitions. They are the children who died at the Star Magic Motel. They are the proof of what the motel was used for. They walk to Tabitha, because Tabitha, as Miranda's reincarnation, is the only person with a soul old enough to recognize them. They are saying, remember. They are not just chanting a word. They are telling her that the place where they died is still standing, even if the building above it is not. Victor draws compulsively. He has been drawing since he was a child trapped in this town. The opening credits of the show feature flashes of his drawings. The one most fans notice is a building engulfed in flames. A second drawing shows a flood, with people standing on the rooftops to keep their heads above water. Most readings of those drawings treat them as separate events. A fire happened, then later a flood, or they are two different metaphors. I think they are the same event seen from two angles, a fire and a flood, both at once. A fire to consume the building, water flooding into the empty pool, or into the basements, or into the foundation, to seal what burned. Or, if you read it the way trauma works in a child's memory, a fire that felt like drowning. A child's mind cannot always distinguish between the two when both are happening to them at once. Victor was a child during the events of the original massacre that the show has shown us. But he may have been the witness to something much older as well. His drawings might not record only what he himself saw. They may record what the town remembers, which is what bleeds through into a child sensitive enough to hold a crayon and draw without thinking. Either way, the building burning is on the wall, in the credits, in the fingerprints of the show's most reliable witness. Victor has been telling us what happened to the motel since season 1. We have been watching him tell us, and we have been classifying the drawings as childhood trauma. They are not, they are receipts. The motel sign should not still be standing. A sign is a metal frame on a pole. 40 plus years of weather, of monsters, of whatever this town does to the things inside it, should have brought that sign down. Buildings fall, cars rust, bodies decay, but the sign stays. The name fell off. Star Magic. Those words are gone. But the structure of the sign, the shape, the pole, has refused to come down for at least 4 decades. In Victor's flashbacks, it is there. Less weathered. In Henry's first week, it is there. Through every monster attack that has ever damaged the town, it has remained. This is not durability. This is not coincidence. The sign is permanent because the system needs it to be permanent. The sign is the marker. The system is allowed to remove the building, but it is not allowed to remove the marker. Something underneath this place enforces that. The name fell off because names can change. Star Magic is what the motel was called by whoever ran it last. Before that, the site might have had another name. Before that, no name at all. What the place is called is allowed to drift. What the place is not. That is why the pilot held on the sign for an extra beat. The director was telling you the sign is the most important object in the establishing shot. The sign is the load-bearing object of the town's mythology. Henry walked into the town, and within days noticed something every long-term resident has stopped noticing. He noticed the missing motel. Why him? Because long-term residents have been trained, by living here, to stop asking the questions that the town does not want asked. Their attention slides off certain details. Their minds fill in the absences. The pool is just an empty pool. The sign is just an old sign. The motel was probably torn down before they arrived. They build a story that lets them keep functioning. Henry has not been retrained yet. His attention works the way attention works in the outside world. He sees the wrongness because he has not yet developed the protective callus that prevents seeing it. This is not a Henry character beat. This is a structural detail about the town. The town manages what its residents notice. The motel is a thing the town actively suppresses observation of. It cannot remove the sign and pool, because something deeper than the town will not let it. So it does the next best thing. It dulls the attention of the people who live near it. Henry pierced the dullness because he had not lived under it long enough. That is why his question matters. He noticed something the system hides. I think we are about to find out what. If the motel is the original site, several things in Season 4 read differently. The Boy in White's repeated message that the answers to the end are in the beginning is not a riddle about lore. It is a literal directive. Walk to the original site. Walk to the empty pool. Stand where the children died. The system was sealed there. The system can be unsealed there. The man in yellow choosing to walk into the town as Sophia in Season 4 is timed. He has a body. He has access. He has freedom of movement that he did not have before. He is going to make sure the original site is guarded, not with monsters, with distractions. He will pull the residents into chaos every time anyone gets close to figuring out what the pool is. Watch what happens in the back half of the season, anytime a character lingers near the empty pool. I expect a death, an attack, or a major distraction within the same episode. Tabitha's pull toward the original sin will lead her to the motel before the season is over. She was the first one to see the singed ghost children. They have been pointing her there. Her story walking will eventually let her walk into the night the children died. She will see what happened. She will see who lit the fire. She will probably see her own past life there, which is going to break her on screen in a way the show has not broken her before. Julie's emerging powers may be aimed at the same place, but from a different angle. If Tabitha walks the moment of the sacrifice, Julie may walk the moment after. The fire, the collapse of the building, the aftermath. Two story walkers covering two slices of the same site. Boyd will be the one who realizes the pool is the answer. He has the investigator brain. Detective Acosta, running her narrative work on the residents' belongings, will eventually surface a lead that points at the pool. When it does, Boyd will be the first to walk there with intent. Watch his face when he stands at the edge of that pool with new information. That moment will be one of the season's pivot points. The Man in Yellow's master goal this season may be simpler than fans are theorizing. He may not be trying to destroy the residents. He may be trying to keep all of them from looking at the pool. Everything else is a smokescreen. The chaos in Sarah's house, the corruption of the system, the manipulation of grieving widowers, all of it serves the goal of distraction. As long as no one looks at the pool, his power holds. The first, someone will dig at the empty pool before the season ends, either physically, with shovels, or symbolically, by story walking into it. What gets uncovered will be the bones, the relics, or the imprint of the original sacrificed children. The second, the Star Magic name will be explained. The words will turn out to mean something. Star Magic is not a noun phrase that makes sense for a roadside motel. It is the kind of name that gets carved into a place that was something else first. I expect the name to be revealed as either a translation, a code, or the name of the original ritual itself. The third, the fire will be shown on screen. We will see the motel burn, either in a Tabitha flashback, a Julie story walk, or a Victor memory unlocked by Jasper. The show has been waiting to show us this. The drawings have been the trailer. The fourth, the Boy in White will say the word pool out loud at some point this season. He has been speaking in riddles for 4 seasons. The moment he says a literal physical word like pool will be the moment the audience knows the geography matters more than the metaphor. Watch his lines. The fifth, the series finale will end at the pool. Whatever closure the show provides, whether the residents escape or fall or something stranger, the final scene will be at the empty pool. Because that is where this began. That is where it has to end. And the show has been telling us that since the pilot held on the sign for the extra beat. There is a motel sign in the town, next to it, an empty swimming pool. There is no motel. You have walked past it for 4 seasons. The residents have walked past it for 40 years. Henry walked into the town, and noticed it in his first week. The boy in white has been telling Tabitha the answers to the end are in the beginning. The faraway tree has been burying men in the concrete of the pool wall. Tabitha has been seeing children with singed clothes chanting the word remember. Victor has been drawing fire and flood in his crayon notebooks for decades. They have all been pointing at the same place. Tell me in the comments whether you see what I see, or whether there is a piece I have missed. I read every comment, and the best ones go into the next breakdown. If this hit subscribe so the next theory shows up in your feed when the next episode lands. We are getting closer to the bottom of this show. I can feel it. Until then, walk past the pool slower. There is something in it.